Most people are buying Mac minis to run Clawdbot just so they could play chess or summarize some emails. That is a hobby. I use mine to run an AI agency. This isn't a chatbot. This is Buji, our AI operations manager. It has its own dashboard. It manages its own Kanban board. It has complete context of my business down to every hour of what my team has been working on for the past year. And when I give it revenue targets or any goals, it comes up with action-based goals. It reverse engineers to create action-based goals based on proven framework. And it can manage a group of AI SDRs as well, which asks for approval whenever they find new leads or come up with new campaign ideas. Hi, my name is Mani, and in this video, we will learn 9 hacks to make you better than 99% of the people are using Clawdbot or Moltbot, as they say. Hack number 1 is SOP injection. And what do I mean by that? The mistake 99% of the people are making, they treat memory file like a diary. They tell the bot their hobbies, their favorite colors, completely useless. There is no 1% advantage to this. Upload your business brain. This is something you need to be doing on day 1. Delete the personal bio and inject your agency offer, pricing models, case studies into memory.md. And I will show you how we are doing that and what should be included in this in our context prompts. And we have 3 context prompts. And if you want this guide, it's free. You can leave your email. You can find the link in the description. So you will get these context prompts it takes anywhere from 15 minutes to 15 hours, depending on, we worked with from teenagers running an e-commerce store to all the way till Fortune 500 company. This is the level 1 context prompt. This is intended for beginners who want to avoid starting each conversation at beginning. So you are essentially giving about me, your work style, current focus, and how I want AI to help me. These sections, everything has placeholders and a detailed example. If you can look at it, it's like 3 pages long. And you upload this, you take 15-20 minutes, whatever it takes, you upload this into memory.md file of your Clawdbot. Level 2 context prompt is designed for professionals who want AI to understand their business context and provide more strategic assistance. And as you can see, it has the level 2 template will have a bunch of things. Now we moved away from just personal profile. We have strengths, business overview, team structure, current projects and goals, process and workflows, custom protocols, AI assistant instructions. So this is double of what it was earlier. And now it takes 1 to 2, because if you have any team members, you need to add that info as well. And when you go to level 3 context, that is where it gets crazy. It's enterprise level. And you need all the high level executives info. So this takes anywhere from 10 to 15 hours. And I have instructions for use for every single level. We practice what we preach, right? If we look at our own context prompt, it is huge. And this is what we have. And this is like, if you look at it, it's 10 pages long. All of this context has been uploaded to my Moltbot, Clawdbot, whatever you want to call it, has all the context, everything about, if you look at here, it has team member information. And you might be wondering, why do you need team member information, Mani? We have their position, their tenure, background, core competencies, strengths, development areas, specific assistance type that is needed, team member. So when you have all of this context, imagine what we can achieve with that. So what we did is we have a team application. We have all of these team members working for us, and for each team member, we can see what they're doing around what their performance is and how many, timesheets they're submitting. For example, if we take this user And I can look at timesheets every single day, how they are working, what they are working on, 10 hours, 10.5, 11.5 hours every single day. And I can look at all of the past 1 years if I needed to. So if I go to calendar view, you can see months on end, the timesheets that they filled. I have all of these data points, and we collect all of this data, and we were previously collecting. See, if you look at daily project reports and task reports in January 28, 27, 20, and we have about 200 emails like this. We have what the team is working on, how many tasks are overdue, how many tasks are due soon, how many of them are of this work is billable and non-billable. Let's say for this person, I want to generate a weekly report. And as soon as I click that button, I will receive this webhook showing this team performance report submitted at this time. Do you want to send it? If I want to send it, as soon as I click submit, we can go to another system. It takes a few seconds, but it will pop up. It will say that a question, if you go to the questions section where it can ask questions, high priority approval, this came from Buji directly. Do you want me to process? Yes, once I approve, it will start processing again. It will take some time, but the report that will come out of this, this is a weekly report, and weekly report something like this because it worked 4 days, total 32 hours, and kind of projects that they worked on, billable hours or non-billable hours, average per day. And what is the primary focus on every single day, what they were working on, and breakdown and everything, how much they're doing, hourly distribution by the project, and all of these insights. Whenever I have something that is concerning, I will be notified. It is a great unlock as soon as you enter your details within the chat section, whether that's be Telegram or if you are using terminal interface, it doesn't matter. As soon as you say, this is important, this is me, save it to your memory, it will update both your user and memory also with the complete context. From that point, all the responses that you're receiving would be amazing. So make sure whichever context fits your use case, use that. And the second hack is the cost controller router. And the biggest mistake I've seen people are they're burning $300 in a weekend using Opus 4.5 to scrape websites, to do minimal dumb tasks of, which any model can do. So what is the hack that we came up with? You need to route these dumb tasks. You need to use a default model like HiQ or GPT-4o Mini, which is what I'm doing right now. HiQ 4.5 is what I'm using as my default. But Mani, do you get good stuff from that? No. It's not possible to get great responses from HiQ all the time. I'm actually trying to switch it to Minimax, probably. But what the hack that I'm talking about here is you can create sub-agents from what you already have. So to demonstrate this, I need to go to the other machine, but this is, you only unlock heavy hitters for high value strategy. And the result is 30-second configuration will save 90% on your API bill. So I quickly want to go to the other system. You can see if I open my Clawdbot.json file that I have here, the models that I'm using are Gemini 3 Pro. I have Claude HiQ 4.5. I'm asking for a coder agent. I will be using Claude Sonnet 4, and there is also a thinker agent, as you can see, is Azure GPT 4.1. That is actually my next hack that I'm going to show you how to use these models. And if you go to nodes, you should be able to see this coder model, thinker model, and the main model that we have. For example, when we are preparing this report, asked it to create this report, right? We had to use two different models. One model to analyze, thinker model to analyze, and a coder model to write the HTML code. So if you go back, and there were a lot of things that went wrong when we were creating this sub-agent configuration. I wanted to create this lessons learned document, coder agent default approaches to change agents.defaults model primary in Clawdbot JSON. But if you change default model globally, that model behaves differently or has rate limits or quirks. It could break your entire setup. You can just ask your chat agent to update these agents, but make sure you don't change the default one. Default one, if you want to change it, there is a command which is Clawdbot space configure, or you need to go to Clawdbot space onboard to restart the whole onboarding and change the base model entirely. Except that there is a section where we go to the commands. So that is the hack too. You can control your costs, save up to 90% by using smaller models for default tasks and only using heavy lifters when dealing with complex things like analysis and development. And this is the bonus that I was talking about. We need to have a list of, you need to understand some basic terminology like what is a soul.md file. This is your AI's personality and voice. And user.md is who you are and what roles you have, the goals, etc. So tools is your local setup. Memory is your AI's learnings. Heartbeat is automatic checks every 30 minutes. Config is where system settings, it's use Clawdbot space configure command. Skills, they are reusable workflows. Subagents, they are spawned workers. For me, I have a coder and a thinker. I'm adding marketer, outreacher, and some sales subagents all coming. And I actually have built a sub agent page as well to add them, make them coordinate and work in teams. So if you don't want to miss that, hit subscribe. And the next hack that we have is the Thinker sub-agent protocol. This is where I want to show you how to, in my previous video, if you haven't watched it, by the way, it will cover how to get $1,000 credits from Azure OpenAI. By the end of the video, back then I did not know how to use it directly within Clawdbot. It was there. Everyone can get those credits. But today I managed to figure it out. I now know how to use this in my Clawdbot. But the Thinker model, how to get 1000 credits, you can watch my previous video. It will be linked or it will be shown in the description. And it has details on how to get these $1,000 to $5,000 credits. So I asked my Clawdbot how we integrated GPT 4.1 as Thinker and give it a step-by-step. And how we integrated 4.1 Thinker step by step. Azure provider, and then we used the API key and everything we configured step by step. I will copy this and paste it in the guide. So hack 4, I call this skill factory. So there is this incident, a proof of concept security demonstration regarding Moltbot and its associated skill repository, MoltHub. So when you go to MoltHub, you would be able to see a bunch of, a bunch of skills that you can download. Sure, let me go to the other application. And if you see and look at this application and you go to skills, there are already some pre-configured ones where you can just install this GOG or GitHub. You can just give it API key and it will do it for you, and save key and it will work for you. So there are a lot of skills that are available, but I wanted something that's better, something that we can do much faster, because, if anyone can go to that page and inflate the installs, inflate the upvotes, and you can create a malicious skill people would download it, right? People would download and use it. So we need something that to mitigate that issue. What I discovered is if you have the API docs, you have the skill. That is essentially it. If you know how to do certain API integration, that's it. Command the bot to write its own integration. You can do that. You can pay. What I did was I pasted the docs, and that's what I did for integrating Azure AI Thinker model that we are using. Buji validated the endpoints. Now my agent has a capability that no one has. And it's as easy as it sounds. And we went ahead and built a skills page where I can add some basic information, what I want the skill to be. And once you go to API config, I am adding a new Perplexity module here. So the next time, if you want the app, by the way, I'm planning it to give away in my school community. Link in the description down below. So this application, we will be including a Perplexity key once you enter the API documentation, whether that's a REST API, SMTP, GraphQL, webhook, whatever it is, it will auto-populate the whole thing and send it to Buji. And Buji will ask you how to what do I need to do? So if you look at the skills, this is the skills factory, but it is the active skills for we already configured recent email service. I submitted a skill here and Buji was able to pick it up and asked me for what is the API key. And I updated the environment variable with the API key and I'm using resend right now. And this is the email that was configured using resend. Alerts.verticalaisystems.com is the email that I was using. And if you look at skill validation results, API key valid, domain configured, from address, email delivery working. And I also set up a cron job, which you can do, by the way. So daily at the start of the day, 5 a.m. Pacific, I receive a report. Daily at the end of the day, at 7 p.m., I would receive a report. So hack 5 is Omni-Channel Deal Hunter. And this is an AI SDR. This is the revenue generating activity that I'm talking about. Clawdbot will take what industry they're in, what the company's size is, and how many years they're in business. So you have all your regular filters, right? Now it would go out and find people, and it messages me when it finds leads. And we have a set of approved messages in sequence that we want to send. And once I approve a campaign, it will start the campaign. It will do the follow up. We have multi-channel outreach, omni-channel. So we use AI to write emails that is defensive, which we tried that approach using Instantly before. We use AI to find deals that is offensive. That is what we are doing. This isn't a chatbot or an assistant. It's an actual SDR. It's like giving your Clawdbot power. It almost is like an employee sitting here and working on a machine. That it's that powerful, and it scrapes lead based on your ICP, enriches them with funding data, and drafts the outreach. And Buji filled my pipeline while I was sleeping. And this is Hack 6, the Shadow CEO protocol. And the mistake that most people are doing is micromanaging the AI and asking it to do things one by one. But what I discovered is I don't do the work, I approve the work. So if I want to show you a quick example, I don't have anything waiting for approval here. So just so it's a bit funny, let's ask it to add a task for yourself that we need to work on self-learning and self-improvement skill, and set the deadline in 2 days. And create a task in to do and ask me for approval whether the task has the right subtasks. How the approval process works, usually when Buji has any questions, I wanted to give it a platform where it can ask me these questions. And this is the application that we came up with. The typing here means it's been processing, and I don't want to lose this as well. Maybe in real time you can see the board. Identify lead sources, self-learning and self-improvement skill. And the deadline is in 2 days, and it's in to-do. And let's see if I got any question. After I asked that question, it not only created task and it has an approval, self-learning and self-improvement skill, due Jan 13. These are the 5 subtasks identified. Do you want to approve it? Yes, approve. And if I want to make any changes, I can add changes too. And that is how I built this system. And I'm using Haiku right now. There are much better models than Haiku, right? So the more intelligent model that you have, the easier it is to work with. Anytime it has a question, it has a place to ask a question. Anytime it has insights, it has place to give me insights. All it needs to do is go to the report section, and there is insight section also where it can add insights based on what it discovers. And this is an ever improving system. The more I learn, the more I discover about new things, new integrations, the way I can make the sub agents work in a team. All of that I'm going to build into this application. And hack 7 is the infinity fleet. Why create or why buy 7 or 8 Mac minis just if you could run this on a virtual server, virtual private server? Now, I want to show you how easy that is. We have an instance, and when we go to dashboard and we look at all the instances here, if you look at my Clawdbot server, it already has a configured Clawdbot or Moltbot inside it. All I need to do is come here, and in actions, there is image and templates, and I can create an image from this. And that is it. You can create an image and you can create a template just like that. And you can create one for sales, create one for, marketing, one for support. You have all those employees just like that with free virtual server. That's why I say, why buy one computer when you can use 10 VPSs? Again, security is really important. You have to have, you have to set this right. And there will be many videos going into, because I kind of underestimated how, tricky this situation, how viral the bot is. And there will be in future, I will be making a video myself how to secure, set this up securely. And what is the result of this hack? While my laptop was off, the fleet was running at 3 a.m. Having one for sales, and this Mac Mini is on, by the way. But think about the potential. You can have 10 agents instead of one. And hack 8. So money, if that VPS is so good, why did you get a Mac Mini, right? So the Sandbox protocol, the mistake, given the autonomous agent root access to your main Google Drive, if it gets hacked, you lose everything. So you need something that's protected. My systems, my agents have complete everything, starting from emails, starting from accounts, API keys, everything is different separate from my main account. I don't want to risk anything. And only contact that it has is this application and the ability to send emails and create tasks on our own internal application that has no client communication at all. So what is the hack? The service identity, create a burner email for the bot. It only touches what you explicitly share with it. This is absolutely important, especially with what's going on right now. you need to be really, really careful. And do you need a Mac Mini? No, you can get a Windows, you can get anything you want. The reason I got it is to stay in the ecosystem. I have two iPhones, like two MacBooks, two iPads just sitting there. And what better way to, share between these devices without, Mac Mini just made sense. So what is the result? Buji has its own login. It's an employee with permissions, not a god with keys to kingdom. And that is really important. Vibe coding the infrastructure. You can use Clawdbot to create vibe coding applications. They may not be great, they may not be perfect in first try, but with the right model to show you how different, the difference is night and day in the kind of models that you used. The exact vibe coded application that it showed me when I tried to work with it, work with HiQ, it was horrible. I'll go to the other application. So this is the application that I got when I used HiQ. When I did this with my main app, I got this application that you're seeing here. And if you want to know how to set this up and get the access to, and it's not super cheap, or maybe it is. For me, it took like $8 to build the whole thing in tokens. So I think it's a pretty good deal. So if you want to learn how or get access to the system, you can check out my school. And vibe coding is if you use the right model, and most people would think you need to be full stack developer to build this dashboard. I didn't write this React code. I didn't build this database. I used action-based coding. I explained the agent what it needs to do and the right agent for the task. I built the tool to manage the tool. So that is the key. And this is only scratching the surface, right? There is log, everything that we talked about, everything that is happening, generated in real time activity, what is happening, and I can add things to memory.md file directly. And if you use models like Opus or Claude Code, you can even control browsers. And what I'm showing you right now, what is the default model that you are using? Using Claude 4.5 HiQ, and it is one of the cheapest servers that you can, cheapest models that you can get. Imagine if you are being able to do all of this with some of the lowest, a combination of lowest models. I've been burning like $20 a day or something, but I have been sitting here all day and making it work all day, coming up with all these things.